For over a decade, Eivin Kilcher showed millions what real survival looked like. Hunting in subzero temperatures, building from scratch, living completely off the grid in the Alaskan wilderness. Then, in 2022, after 11 seasons, the cameras suddenly stopped rolling. Discovery Channel went silent. No announcement, no farewell episode, nothing. Fans were left with one burning question: what happened to Eivin Kilcher? The answer isn't what anyone expected, because while the network moved on, Eivin's story was just beginning. What he's doing now, away from Hollywood's grip, reveals everything Discovery never wanted you to see about Alaska. The Last Frontier. When Alaska. The Last Frontier wrapped in late 2022. Something felt off. There was no grand finale, no official cancellation announcement from Discovery Channel. The show just ended, leaving fans scrambling for answers. Season 11 had aired in October 2022, and by 2023, viewers expected the usual fall premiere. It never came. Behind the scenes, the truth was messy. Ratings had been slipping for years, and whispers of controversy followed the show everywhere. Critics questioned whether the Kilcher's lifestyle was as authentic as Discovery claimed. How did a family living off the land afford cargo boats, heavy construction equipment, and private fishing vessels? The math didn't add up for a lot of viewers, but the real nail in the coffin came from something darker. The show had been hit with serious accusations about staging dramatic scenarios, turning everyday homestead tasks into manufactured life-or-death situations. Fans who'd followed the family since 2011 started noticing the cracks. The production felt forced, the emergencies too convenient. Discovery never addressed these concerns publicly, but internally, decisions were being made. By late 2022, the network quietly chose not to renew the series. No explanation, no transparency, just silence. The Kilchers were left to figure out their next move, and for Eivin, that meant breaking free from the very thing that made him famous. Just when everything seemed uncertain, disaster struck the Kilcher homestead. During a brutal winter snowstorm in 2021, Eivin's father Otto was trampled by a cow. The 71-year-old suffered devastating injuries, including a horizontal fracture extending all the way to his L2 vertebra. Emergency responders rushed to the remote property, and Otto's condition was listed as critical. For a family that prided itself on self-reliance, this was a nightmare scenario. Otto later described the incident with dark humor. High tides, snowstorms, no problem. Bovine trampling, emergency responders, not so cool. But beneath the joke was a terrifying reality: Otto might not survive. With the family patriarch fighting for his life in a hospital bed, everything fell on Eivin's shoulders. He had to manage the entire homestead operation, handle the livestock, keep the property running through one of Alaska's harshest winters, all while cameras captured every moment for season 11. The pressure was immense. This wasn't just about keeping a TV show going, it was about preserving a legacy that stretched back over 80 years. Eivin stepped up in ways that proved he'd learned everything his father taught him. He coordinated with family members, made critical decisions, and kept the homestead alive. Otto eventually recovered, but the incident changed everything. It exposed just how fragile their way of life really was, and how much the family depended on each other. It also showed viewers that maybe, just maybe, the extreme situations Discovery kept pushing weren't necessary. Real life on the homestead was dramatic enough. When the cameras stopped rolling, Eivin Kilcher didn't fade into obscurity. Instead, he did something genius. He took control of his own narrative. While Discovery moved on to other projects, Eivin and his wife Eve launched their digital empire. They created YouTube channels, built a professional website, and started sharing their homestead life directly with fans. No producers, no manufactured drama, no network executives telling them what stories to tell, just raw, authentic content from the heart of Alaska. Their main channel, Eivin Kilcher Homestead, exploded with views. Videos like From Ocean to Table Crab Fishing in Alaska pulled in 180,000 views. Dump Truck Date Night hit 84,000. Even a simple video about repairing their road after a mudslide drew over 100,000 views. Eve created her own separate platform, the Eivin Kilcher Homestead channel, which grew to over 4,500 subscribers. Her content focused on gardening, cooking, and food preservation, practical homesteading skills that viewers could actually use. A sourdough cinnamon roll video alone attracted 30,000 views. The couple also launched EivinandKilcher.com, a comprehensive website featuring Eve's kitchen for recipes, Eivin's workshop for DIY builds, and a Kilcher Crew newsletter packed with seasonal tips. They even started selling personalized copies of their cookbook, Homestead Kitchen, Stories and Recipes from Our Hearth to Yours. This wasn't just about staying relevant. It was about building something sustainable, something they controlled completely. Discovery had given them fame, but digital platforms gave them freedom. The most revealing comment about life after Discovery came from Eivin's cousin, Eivin Kilcher. When he launched his own YouTube channel, Kilcher's Last Frontier, in March 2025, he told followers it offered the same, but no crazy producers, making it extreme all the time, just pure, uncut Kilcher adventures. That one sentence said everything. For years, the family had been performing for cameras, following scripts, hitting dramatic beats that producers demanded. Real homesteading wasn't enough. Discovery needed grizzly bear encounters, near-death experiences, family conflicts blown out of proportion. The Kilchers played along because that's what kept the show on air. But now, Eivin was free to document what actually mattered. Videos showed him tackling genuine projects, repairing critical infrastructure after natural disasters, fishing for salmon to stock the freezer, teaching his kids practical survival skills. He took viewers on paddleboarding trips and shared close encounters with orcas, not because it was dramatic, but because it was his actual life. Eve's content reflected the same authenticity. She filmed herself baking, gardening with their daughter Sparrow, preserving food for winter. No fake emergencies, no manufactured tension, just a family doing what they'd always done, but on their own terms. By September 2025, Eivin's channel had grown to over 11,000 subscribers with 313,000 total views. The message was clear. Fans didn't need Discovery's production gimmicks. They wanted real homesteading, and the Kilchers were finally giving it to them unfiltered. What Discovery never emphasized was how close the Kilcher homestead actually sits to civilization. While the show painted a picture of extreme isolation, the reality is far different. The family's 600-acre property is located just outside Homer, Alaska, a small but accessible town. If they wanted to abandon their rugged lifestyle, it would be a short trip to stores, hospitals, and modern amenities. The show made it seem like they were completely cut off from the world, but that was creative editing. Viewers ate it up, believing the Kilchers were surviving in total wilderness when help was actually much closer than anyone realized. Then, there was the scandal Discovery couldn't bury. In a shocking revelation, it came out that family members Eivin and Christina Kilcher had violated Alaska hunting laws by shooting a black bear from a helicopter. Hunting from aircraft is illegal in Alaska, and a former production company member tipped off Alaska state troopers. The family was charged, along with Wilma TV Inc., a Discovery subsidiary. The case ended with a plea deal and a $17,500 fine. For a show built on respecting nature and living off the land responsibly, this was a devastating blow to credibility. Fans also started questioning the economics. How does a family supposedly living a subsistence lifestyle afford multiple cargo boats, heavy construction equipment, private fishing vessels, and constant vehicle upgrades? Eivin's custom Subaru builds alone suggested income far beyond what hunting and gathering could provide. The answer was obvious: Discovery paychecks. The family reportedly earned between $7,000 and $10,000 per episode, and with over 100 episodes across 11 seasons, that adds up fast. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, and Eivin Kilcher is busier than ever, just without a network calling the shots. His YouTube content shows the full scope of his skills: major construction projects, building repairs, mechanical work on vintage machinery, and outdoor adventures that would make any survival enthusiast jealous. He's documented everything from salmon fishing expeditions to close encounters with Alaska's wildlife, all while raising his two children, Findlay and Sparrow Rose, in the same off-grid lifestyle he grew up in. The difference now is that Eivin gets to decide what stories matter, what moments deserve sharing, and how his family's legacy gets presented to the world. Eve continues expanding her own brand, focusing on sustainable cooking and gardening techniques that actually work in Alaska's harsh climate. She's not just posting recipes, she's teaching people how to grow food in short growing seasons, preserve harvests for brutal winters, and cook nourishing meals from pantry staples. Together, they've created something Discovery never could, a genuine educational resource that serves their community while preserving their way of life. They're selling personalized cookbook copies, building their email newsletter, and connecting directly with fans who appreciate authenticity over drama. The homestead itself keeps evolving. Eivin still works closely with his father Otto, who fully recovered from that devastating cow trampling incident. Recent footage shows Otto back to his old self, rolling hay bales and tackling mechanical projects with the same ingenuity that made him a fan favorite. The Kilcher legacy isn't just surviving, it's thriving, just without network interference. So what really happened to Eivin Kilcher? He escaped. Not from Alaska, not from the homestead, but from the machine that tried to turn his life into entertainment. Discovery Channel gave him a platform, but it came with strings attached, manufactured drama, forced narratives, and constant pressure to make everyday survival look extreme. When the network pulled the plug in 2022, it wasn't the end of Eivin's story, it was liberation. Now he controls his image, his message, and most importantly, his family's future. The Kilcher homestead has survived for over 80 years without television cameras, and it'll continue long after the last episode fades from memory. Eivin didn't need Discovery to validate his lifestyle or prove his skills. He needed freedom to live authentically, to pass down real knowledge to his children, and to share his world with people who genuinely care about sustainable living. The irony is perfect. A show called The Last Frontier couldn't handle the real frontier, the one where families make their own decisions and live by their own rules. Eivin Kilcher is still out there, still building, still hunting, still thriving. You just have to know where to look, and it's not on Discovery Channel anymore.